Hi everyone, good morning. Hope you're well. So today, I think we are enjoying the class number 7th. Please type in the chat box which number class you are enjoying right now. Is it 5th, 6th, 1st, 2nd? I'd like to know in your comment, then would like to start. And definitely, I believe that you are well. So let me recap what we have learned in the last 6 classes. Then we're gonna go further, and also I'm gonna give some sort of announcement as well for you. So I think you'll love it. So the class number 1, we have started using the be verb, and using the be verb we have introduced ourselves. We gave a very good presentation how to introduce ourselves, right? So that was the class number 1. And class number I'm not sure if you can see me. Let me see. Okay, so class number 1, we have learned how to give a presentation, and in the class number 2, we have learned how to talk for the whole day, right? And the structure of this presentation was subject plus verb, and that was the verb 1, I mean present form. So we practiced a lot, and after practicing a lot, you got a homework that was what do you do every day, right? And you told us about the morning, evening, and afternoon. What do you usually do? And I think you have given what is called 30 activities, and most of you have done it. Congratulations. And the next class we have learned how to ask question, because language means asking and answering, and you have learned so many things. So please type in the chat box if you know how to ask and answer. Type in the chat box, ask and answer. I'd like to see. And number 3 is WS question. That means deep questions. So basically, sometimes, when we are having a conversation, we'd like to know a lot of details, and that's why you ask why, when, how, where, how long, these sort of questions. And we exactly know how to ask deep questions. I mean, getting a lot of information or sort of questions you need to ask, you learn that, right? So I think from these 4 classes, you came to know that how to speak in English, how to ask and answer, this sort of things. And I'm glad that now you know how to ask and answer, how to give a presentation as well. So the next class we have learned about the past, because in IELTS exam, there are a lot of situations come across. Examiner ask different sort of questions using present and past, and they mix up, and all of a sudden, I mean, students, they can't catch it, and they make a lot of mistakes, and this is how they lose the I mean, good score in IELTS exam. So that was the last class, I mean, how to describe yourself. So now can you please type in the chat box, have you done your presentation? The presentation was, what did you do yesterday? I mean, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. So type in the chat box if you submitted your presentation. If you have submitted your presentation, please type in the chat box, yes, I did. I'd like to see how many of you have done your presentation. Right, so now I'd like to see if you can hear me, and I can see your comment as well. Okay, so I can see a lot of comments here. Shibli said, I'm enjoying the class, but I have missed 2 classes. Okay, Shibli, that's fine. So all you got to do is you need to watch the recorded version, and you need to do the homework as well, right? So now I can see a lot of students, they know how to ask and answer. So I would have said ask and answer. That means you know how to ask and answer a question, right? Sabina said ask and answer. Thank you for responding. So now today's class is all about how to ask and answer using the past form. So now I'd like to ask you very simple questions. Can you please type in the chat box, what was the number on a structure? I'd like to recap all of them, because if you forget the structure, probably you'll make a lot of mistakes. So that's why I'd like to just revisit so that you can remember still what you learned in the first class. So just type in the chat box, what is the first structure, if you can remember. There was subject plus be verb. So type in the chat box sub plus be, sub plus be, sub plus be. Okay. Okay. Thank you for responding. So now tell me, what was the second structure? Second structure. Type in the chat box very quickly. Second structure. Subject plus verb. Quickly. Second structure was subject plus verb. Right? Second structure was subject plus verb. Right? Third structure was, so it was question, right? So do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Please type in the chat box quickly. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. That was the third structure, right? And the fourth structure was WS plus do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Quickly type in the chat box so that I can read your comment. Fourth structure was WS plus do plus subject plus question mark. Okay, so Mushfira says subject plus be verb. Altaf says subject plus verb. Okay. Okay, you need to type quickly, otherwise it's gonna answer is gonna be mixed it up, right? So okay, excellent, thank you for responding. Saiful Jahan Shukriya said subject plus verb. That's right, there's the second structure. Mushfira said do plus subject plus verb. That's right, there's the third structure. Altaf Hussain said do plus subject plus not be, do plus subject plus verb. That was the third structure. Saiful said do plus subject plus verb. Excellent, thank you, thanks for responding. And Altaf Hussain said WS plus do plus subject plus you missed a verb, right? So V question mark. I'm not sure what's your real name. Is Motivation Talk. WS plus do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Excellent, thank you for responding. So yeah, that was the fourth structure, and the fifth structure was subject plus verb to. Can you please type in the chat box? Subject plus verb to. Subject plus verb to. The structure number 5th was subject plus verb to. Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see your comment. Very quickly, please type in the chat box. Subject plus verb. Subject plus verb to. Okay, excellent. Thank you for responding. Subject plus verb to. So that's the structure of past tense. I mean, to describe the past event. And now, if I ask you, what would be the structure number 6? Type in the chat box. What would be the structure number 6? Because I believe that now you can gauge what would be the structure number 6, because you are following the structure. And if you follow the structure, now you got a pattern. And according to the pattern, you can say, okay, now this is going to be the structure number 6. Type in the chat box very quickly. I would like to see if you can, if you know what would be the structure number 6. Structure number 6. Type in the chat box. So structure number 5 means subject plus verb to. That means past from, right? For example, you have practices. I practiced, we practiced, you practiced, you practiced, they practiced, he practiced, she practiced, it practiced, Tony practiced. So what would be the next structure we're gonna follow? Type in the chat box. Okay, if you don't know, that's fine as well. So it's gonna be do verb. So past form of do is did, right? So did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Type in the chat box very quickly. I'd like to see your comment. Right. So subject, did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. Yeah, that's right. Did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. So this is how we need to practice. Okay, now now I'm gonna give you some sort of information that's gonna transform your life. So how many of you speak in English or write in English by translation? So this is how you do is you think in your own language, for example, Bengali, Hindi, or Urdu, then you translate it into English, then you say it or you write it. So if you do so, please type in the chat box translation. Type in the chat box translation. And there are a lot of students, they struggle a lot only for this reason, because they follow this procedure is they think in their own language, then they translate it into English, then they deliver, and this is how they become so slow to speak in English, right? So if you follow this procedure, please type in the chat box translation. So if you do so from now on, we don't like to do that, because that's gonna slow down your speaking style. So instead of, what are you gonna do? We're gonna think in English and we're gonna speak in English. We're gonna take out that translation part, right? So how are we gonna do this? And that's why you need to practice those three questions what I have given you earlier classes. So number one is, what do you do? So in the morning when you wake up, so think in English. What I'm gonna do today? Yeah, definitely I need to go to university. So now I need to, just I woke up, so I need to refresh myself. I need to make my breakfast. Then I need to catch the bus and I need to go to the university. Okay, so how many classes I have got today? I think 4 classes, and I had classes. The first class is at 11 o'clock, and the second class is I think 12:30. Then we're gonna have a lunch break, and then 3 o'clock, then 5 o'clock. Okay, it's pretty much busy schedule I think today. After that, what are you gonna do? I think I promised one of my friends to see him in the restaurant. So probably in the evening around 8 o'clock, I'm gonna go there. Before that, I need to do some sort of shopping, and I need to help my mom to cook as well. Yeah, so once I come back from the restaurant, so what are I supposed to do? Oh, I have got an assignment and the deadline is next week, so I need to work on it, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just thinking in English and speaking English. So from now on, all you got to do is, instead of doing the translation, you got to think in English, you need to speak in English, right? So can you please type in the chat box from now on, think in English. Just type in the chat box, think in English. You got to do this, otherwise, you're gonna slow down. So quickly type in the chat box, think in English. Think in English. So once you start thinking English, you are done. So even this is how you can practice as well. For example, you took a bus, probably you're going to the university, and that time the conductor came to you asking for the bus fare. So you think in English. Okay, here you go, this is the money back, right? This is your fare. Just think in English, but speak even in Bengali, right? Don't speak in English with the bus conductor. So that's why I'd like to start this procedure. So from now on, just think in English, and deliver, speak in English, think in English, deliver in English. So if you do this, you will see there should be some sort of transformation, and you can speak faster, you can answer faster, you can understand a bit faster as well. So this is the thing you need to do. And also I would definitely recommend you to write down diary regularly in English. So let's say you have got a diary, right? And what do you do in the morning? You just open the diary and you write down, so what are the things you need to do? So once you start studying diary, it's going to help you a lot, especially for 2 ways. Number one, you are scheduled, you are disciplined, you know what the outcomes you are looking for. Yeah, that's the first thing. And second thing is you are developing English skill, especially the writing skill, right? So a lot of students ask me how I'm going to improve my writing skill. The answer is by writing. And always I get the question, how can I develop my speaking skill? The answer is by speaking, right? So from now on, think in English, speak in English, right? And I'd like to ask you a question. So from this group, how many of you got your speaking partner? The procedure I showed you. So you need to practice a lot. You need to come to the class on time. You need to give your presentation and need to watch 5 to 10 videos. You need to comment them positively, and then you need to approach them private message that, hey, can I practice with you? So doing that, how many of you got the speaking partner and you have started speaking? Type in the chat box, me. If you have taken a speaking partner from this group and you have started speaking, type in the chat box, me. I'd like to see how many of you are taking my instruction, taking my advice and applying it and getting the result, right? So always I tell my students, for example, if you are sick, normally where do you go? You go to hospital, you see the doctor, and doctor give you the prescription. You go to pharmacy, then you take medicine. And after getting the medicine, if you don't take them, if you just put on the shelf your medicine, how are you gonna get cured, right? So you need to apply it. You need to take the medicine, right? So type in the chat box if you have got already a speaking partner and you have started speaking. So Altaf Hossain said, no, I haven't got yet. So Altaf, my question to you is, have you approached someone else that, hey, I'd like to speak with you, giving a private message? So can you remember I told you asking is receiving. If you don't ask, you never get. Asking is receiving. So you need to ask. You need to ask, right? So that's right. Okay, Shibli Rabin said, I need a partner for practicing this. Yeah, Shibli, that's right. So this is the procedure in this group. So I'm not sure whether this is your first class, second class, or fifth class. So if you'd like to get a speaking partner, all you got to do is you need to give a presentation. Every day we have got some sort of homework. You need to practice it and you need to upload the homework into the group. The name of the group is UK Study Visa. And there are thousands of homework about there, presentation about there. If you haven't got any clue, just scroll down. You'll find a lot of presentation over there. And once you watch them, comment them positively. You have done well, excellent, really well. Keep it up, something like this. And after commenting 3, 4, 5 days, then just the person is seeing you that, yeah, you are really interested and someone is watching your presentation. And after that, if you get a message that, hey, I have watched a lot of videos and now is it okay to be a speaking partner? I'd like to practice with you. That's all. That's it. You got a speaking partner. Then schedule yourself and just keep practicing with them. Right. So I can see a lot of comments. Preeti Shah said me. Abdul Rahman said me. Okay, that means you got a speaking partner. Thank you. Congratulations. Right now, you got a speaking partner, so you need to schedule every day and you need to practice with them. So now, what are we gonna do? We're gonna practice today's class. Let me share my screen so that you can see it. So if you can see my screen, please type in the chat box, I see. Okay, I see. So today is class number 6. Here, what are we gonna do? We will pay the attention to the questions and we're gonna answer accordingly. Can you remember in the last class I have told you that in IELTS exam, the examiners sometimes they become a bit tricky. They ask you a lot of questions in present, and all of a sudden they ask you a question in the past form. And once they ask the question past form, so the IELTS candidates, they become nervous during the exam time, and still they keep answering in present form, and this is how they are losing their score. So that's why pay attention to the questions. And most of the time we get the answer to the questions. So you got to pay attention whether the question is in present form, past form, or future form. So according to the questions, you need to answer it. You get it? If you got it, please type in the chat box understood. Type in the chat box understood. You need to, let me repeat. You need to pay attention to the questions. If the question is present form, you need to answer it in present. If the question is past form, you need to answer in past. If the question is future form, you need to answer in future. You got it? If you got it, please type in the chat box, understood. I'd like to see how many of you really understood what I just said. Okay, so now, so this is the thing we practiced yesterday. For example, I practiced, we practiced, you practiced, you practiced, they practiced, he practiced, she practiced, it practiced, Tony practiced, right? And now, if I ask you the questions, did you practice yesterday? The question is, did you practice yesterday? So see, it's the same pattern, do plus subject plus verb one, but instead of do, we need to put did, because this is the past form, right? So now we're gonna practice. We're gonna practice this structure, and after that we'll go. So this is the structure basically. So this is how we need to practice. Did I speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did he speak? Did Tony speak? So if you don't follow this structure, that means you are making mistakes. You know that, right? So that's why you need to practice a lot. So are you ready? If you are ready, let's practice with me. When I say 3, 2, 1, go, you need to practice loudly. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Did I speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did he speak? Did Tony speak? Right? So that's how you need to practice. That's how you need to practice. Now, can you please type in the chat box how many sentences you made? How many sentences you made? Type into the chat box very quickly. How many sentences did you make? So very quickly type in the chat box. If you made 9 sentences, please type in the chat box 9. If you made less than that, please put the number. I'd like to see. I'm really excited to see how many sentences did you make. So now, this is our challenge. We're gonna make all the sentences within one breath. One breath, right? We are not supposed to take more than one to give deliver all the sentences. And if you practice like this way, you are improving your fluency. So let's start. We're gonna start with this structure, right? And our aim is to finish all the sentences within one breath. Okay, so let's start. 3, 2, 1, go. Did I speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did he speak? Did Tony speak? Okay, so I'm getting a lot of comments. So M. Dali Shwak said 8. So Altaf made 9 sentences. Thank you, Altaf. Congratulations. Shibli Robin said 8. Shibli, you need to make 9 sentences, right? Brothers School said 9. Okay, thank you for responding. So now I'm gonna ask you. So we're gonna practice one more time. And after that, if you made all the sentences using one breath, please type in the chat box 1. If you have taken more than one breath, please type in the chat box 2. Ready? We're gonna practice one more time. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Did I speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did he speak? Did Tony speak? Right? So type in the chat box. I'd like to see how many breaths have you taken. If you couldn't make all the sentences using one breath, that means you need to practice more. Did you get me? You need to practice more. So when you are at home, finishing the class, go back, pause it, and just practice. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. And I'm really thrilled, in this course. If you'd like to speak in English, and if you have got some sort of emergency, and still you can go back to the class, the recorded class, and you can watch the whole video like a live class, and then you can see what is the presentation, and you can make the presentation and you can upload it, right? There is no excuses to be a fluent speaker, right? Please type in the chat box if you agree with me. No excuses. No excuse, right? So still, if you miss a class, you can have the recorded version, you can watch it, you can practice, and you can make the presentation. So please type in the chat box, no excuses. No excuses. Right, so now this is the structure number 6, right? So if I ask you, what would be the structure number 7? Type in the chat box. Structure number 7, because you know the pattern right now. And what would be the structure number 7? After this structure, which structure you're gonna practice? Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see if you know it. Right, so if you follow this pattern, so structure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the structure number 6. So what would be the structure number 7? Please type in the chat box. Okay, so thank you for responding. Pritisha said no excuses. Shibli Rabani said no excuses. Yeah, that's right, no excuses. So type in the chat box structure number 7. I'd like to see if you know what is the structure number 7. Type in the chat box quickly. Structure number 7. Type in the chat box very quickly. Structure number 7. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for responding. Right, so structure number 7 would be, just you need to put WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1 question mark, right? So can you please type in the chat box structure number 7 is WS, did, subject, verb 1 question mark. I'd like to see everyone else comment. Can you please comment quickly? WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Altaf, for responding. So WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark, right? So thank you. Shibli Rabani said did plus subject plus verb. So Shibli, you need to put WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1. Structure number 7 would be WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1. Please type in the chat box quickly. And if you know the structure, you will be able to make the sentences. Otherwise, you're gonna struggle. So that's right. So this would be the structure: WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. So if you practice with why, so this is how you need to practice. Why did I practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? You got me, right? So just you need to follow the sequence. Why did I practice? Right? If you don't follow the order, you are making mistakes. So why did we practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? So that's how you need to make a lot of sentences. So now we're gonna practice it. Are you ready? Are you ready? If you're ready, please type in chat box quickly. READY. That means you are ready. I'll know that you are ready. So we're gonna practice with, first of all, why, and you need to practice with me, right? So once I say 3, 2, 1, go, you need to practice, right? So ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Why did I practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? Very quickly. One more time. We're gonna practice this using why. Why did I practice? Yep. Speak loudly with me. Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? Right. So now, within one breath, we're gonna practice this thing, right? Just we're gonna take one breath and we're gonna deliver all the sentences. So let me read out fast, then you're gonna do the same. So ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Why did I practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? Right. So this is how we need to practice. Are you ready? You're gonna practice with me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Why did I practice? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah. Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did practice? Why did Tony practice? Okay, excellent. Thank you. Can you please type in the chat box how many sentences you made and how many breaths have you taken? If you made 9 sentences within one breath, please type in the chat box 9 plus 1. 9 plus 1. If you made 9 sentences within one breath, please type in the chat box 9 plus 1. I'd like to see. That means 9 sentences, 1 breath. Okay, next we're gonna practice with when. When. So let me read them fast. So when did I practice? When did you practice? When did you practice? When did you practice? When did they practice? When did he practice? When did she practice? When did it practice? When did Tony practice? Okay, I can see a lot of comments right now. So Altaf Ansari said 9 plus 1. That means you made all the sentences within one breath. Pritisha, congratulations, completed 9 plus 1. Sarman Ahmed said 9 plus 1. Shivli Rabani said 9 plus 1. Ali Shuak said 9 plus 1. Tawhida said Akhtar said 9 1. Nurun Ridna said 9 plus 1. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Congratulations. So that's the structure 7. So now we're going to practice with when, right? So I'll say go. You need to give me 9 sentences in one breath. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. When did I practice? When did you practice? When did you practice? Yeah, keep going. Loudly, keep going. Keep going. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So if you made all the sentences, I mean 9 sentences in one breath using when, please type in the chat box when. যদি আপনি already 9টা sentence এক নিঃশ্বাসে শেষ করে ফেলেন, please type in the chat box when. Okay, so next one, we're going to practice with where. Where. So the pronunciation of this word is where, not where. Where. So where did I practice? Where did you practice? Where did you practice? Where did they practice? Where did he practice? Where did she practice? Where did it practice? Where did Tony practice? Right? So now we're going to practice with where. Are you ready? So when I say 3, 2, 1, go, you need to give me all the sentences using where. Right? So ready? Okay. So let me highlight it so that you can see it. Where? So 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Where did I practice? Where did you practice? Where did you practice? Where did you practice? Where did you practice? Where did he practice? Where did she practice? Where did he practice? Where did Tony practice? Excellent. Thank you. So if you made all the sentences using one breath, please type in the chat box where. Type in the chat box where. So next WS word we're going to practice with how. Right? How. So this is how I need to make sentence. How did I practice? How did you practice? How did you practice? How did they practice? How did he practice? How did she practice? How did it practice? How did Tony practice? Right? So if you made all the sentences using how, please type in the chat box how. Quickly type in the chat box how. How. So the next one is wish. Can you remember? I need to remind you that if you get wish, you need to put a noun. So wish plus n means wish plus noun. So wish language. Noun is language. So wish language. And using this, we're going to practice again. So ready? Practice with me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Which language did I practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did they practice? Which language did he practice? Which language did she practice? Which language did he practice? Which language did Tony practice? Okay. So which language? Which language? We're gonna practice one more time, and this time we're gonna make sure that we deliver all the sentences using one breath. Right? How many breaths? Only one breath. Right? Ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Which language did I practice? Which language do you practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did they practice? Which language did he practice? Which language did she practice? Which language did he practice? Which language did Tony practice? Okay. So if you made all the sentences using which plus noun, I mean which language, please type in the chat box 9 plus 1 again. 9 plus 1. I would like to see how many of you really made all the sentences using one breath. You know, there are some students, they practice with me a lot. They're excited. They speak loudly, shutting the door. And, you know, some of the people outside, they say, you know, he is becoming crazy. And these crazy students, they will be successful in their life because they take it seriously. They practice with me. They utilize their time. And some of the students, not some, I would say very few of the students, sometimes they come to the class, they don't come to the class. Still, if they come, they don't practice with me. They said, okay, teacher, he doesn't know whether I'm practicing or not, right? And that means you are cheating with yourself. You're not cheating with me. You are cheating with yourself. So make sure you got to be honest. Once I say practice, you need to practice. Once I say make all the sentences using one breath, you need to give it at least try, right? Otherwise, that's going to be waste of your time and my time as well. So make sure you make your time very useful, right? So now I will ask you a few questions. I'll ask you a few questions, and I'd like to see if you can answer me, right? So can you remember in the first slide I have showed you? So pay attention to the question and answer accordingly. Pay attention to the questions and answer accordingly, right? So the first question I'm going to ask you, The first question I'm going to ask you is, did you practice English yesterday? Type in the chat box the answer. Did you practice English yesterday? Did you practice English yesterday? Type in the chat box very quickly. I'd like to see how do you answer it. Did you practice English yesterday? Very quickly, type in the chat box. You need to pay attention and you need to answer accordingly, right? So, okay, Pritisha said, why should we use noun? So, Priti, this is the rules and regulation of the language, right? So after which we always put a noun. So who is language, who is television, who is university, who is subject, who is country, who is village, who is town. So this is the rules of language, right? Just we are following this. So once you try to use which, just put a noun. That's the only thing you need to remember. Okay, so the question I asked you, did you practice English yesterday? So Shibli Rabani said yes, practice English yesterday. Okay, Shibli, you need to say I practiced English yesterday. So yeah, that's right, but the better way to answer it is yes, I did. Yes, I did. Shurman said yes, I did practice English yesterday. No, Shurman, you don't need to say twice. So if you say it, that means you emphasized a lot. I did practice yesterday, right? So the answer should be yes, I did. Type in the chat box if you know the answer. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. So now the next question I'm going to ask you. Why did you, okay, when did you practice yesterday? When did you practice yesterday? Type in the chat box when. So when did, right? So did is past from. So when did you practice English yesterday? So I'm expecting a time, right? So please answer me with the time. Okay, Shurmonam said I'm not Shurmonam Shuli. Okay, sorry for that, but you know what I see, I pronounce that. So your name, your ID, it shows Shurmon Ahmed. So that's right. Okay. Anyway, Shuli, thank you for letting us know. So the next question is, when did you practice English yesterday? Type in the chat box your answer. When did, right? So pay attention to the question and answer accordingly. So give me the full answer. When did you practice English yesterday? When did you practice English yesterday? So when did is past from. So your answer should be in the past, right? So I practiced English at 8 a.m. UK time. 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 Okay, that should be the answer, right? So next question I'm going to ask you, why did you practice English yesterday? Why? Give me an answer. Don't play shortcut. Give me the full answer. Why did you practice English yesterday? Type in the chat box. Okay, so Shibli said, yes, I did practice English at 9 a.m. So yeah, that's right, Shibli, but the usual way to answer it is, yes, I practiced. So verb to, right? I practiced English at 9 a.m. Okay, let me tell you something you need to know as well. So for example, the sentence, if I say, I teach. I teach. In Bengali, it means Ami Shikai, right? If I say I do teach, that means I'm emphasizing on this. Ami Shikai, right? So if you'd like to put some sort of emphasize, then you say, I do teach, I do learn, Ami Shiki, I do practice, Ami practice kori, right? So if you'd like to practice, do some sort of emphasize, then you say, I do, I did, I practiced English yesterday, Ami gotokalke English practice koreyছিলাম, right? So যদি আপনি emphasize করতে চান, জোর দিতে চান, তাহলে আপনাকে বলতে হবে I did practice English yesterday. But the usual way we say it, I practiced English at 8 a.m. Right? Okay, next question I'm going to ask you is, where did you practice English? Where did you practice English? Okay, Pritisha said I practice English at 10 p.m. Bangladesh time. Okay, so Pritisha, you need to put a D, so it's a verb 2, right? Verb 2. So I practiced English at 10 a.m. 10 p.m. Bidi time. Okay, so next question is, where did you practice? Where did you practice? Where did you practice? Where did you practice? So you can say I practiced on Zoom, I practiced at home, I practiced on internet, I practiced over the phone. So where did you practice? Where did you practice? Where? So now I'm expecting answer a place. Where did you practice? So did means past form, so you need to give me the answer using the past form. So if you don't understand the difference between present and past, so that means you will be struggling. So that's why you need to pay attention how the question pattern is. So if someone is asking you using did, so that means past. If the person is asking you a question using do, that means present form. Right. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So give me the full answer. Where did you practice? I practiced at home. I practiced on Zoom. I practiced over the phone. I practiced at university. I practiced at a hassle-free education. Practiced, right? Thank you. Thank you for responding. So now, I'd like to ask a question is, so sometimes, not always, sometimes, do you feel overwhelmed that, well, you know, someone is speaking better than me, someone is getting better score than me, I mean, I'm not good enough. So do you feel something sometimes like this? If your answer is yes, please type in the chat box, yes, I do. Do you feel something sometime like this, that someone is speaking better than me, he knows English more than me, he's a better speaker, I'm not good enough, he's good enough? So do you face this sort of problems? If you do, please type in the chat box, yes, I do. So if you have got this sort of problem, I have some sort of solution for you. I have some sort of solution for you, and I'd like to give this solution right now. So before that, I'd like to see if you have got some sort of problems like this. Okay. So now, you know, sometimes I feel the same way as well. But when I attend a lot of business meeting, business training, they give us the solution, and the same solution I'd like to share with you so that you can apply it. Right. So most important thing is you don't need to do the competition with others. I repeat, you do not need to competition with others. All you got to do is you need to do the competition with yourself. I repeat, all you need to do is you need to do competition with yourself. What I mean by that is, so just regarding the language, right? So you got to consider, well, am I getting better than the first day of learning language? Am I getting better, or is my presentation is getting better every single day? Is it getting better than yesterday? Is it getting better than yesterday? Am I getting better than yesterday? So if your answer is yes, that means you are progressing, you are developing, you are increasing your skills, right? And this is how you need to do the competition with yourself, and every day you need to be better, and that's how you're gonna find a better version of yourself, right? The same way what I do is sometimes you know, I feel some sort of competition as well, and then I ask myself, am I doing the competition with others? If I do, stop there. I don't like to do the competition with others. There are tons of student consultancy firm in the world, right? I don't need to do the competition with them. What I do is I do the competition with myself. So what I do is, did I serve my students from my heart? Did I get better every single day? Did I give the training to my employees every single day? Did they serve better every single day? Am I getting better? Is my team is getting better than yesterday? If the answer is yes, that means, yeah, I'm on the right place, right? So the same way you need to do. All you got to do is you need to do the competition with yourself, and you need to find the better version of yourself. Can you please type in the chat box, better version of myself? I'd like to see your comment. Better version of myself. That's what you need to do. You need to do the competition with yourself to find the better version of yourself. So that means there is no end of learning. There is no end of improving. Still, I'm improving. I'm trying to improve myself in English, right? And some students, sometimes they say, sir, I made a lot of mistakes when I speak to someone else. And my answer is, you know what? Still, I make a lot of mistakes. Even when I go to the meeting with the university teachers, dean, marketing officer, marketing manager, marketing director, vice chancellor, when I have got a meeting and I share my things, right? They ask me a question, I answer it. Sometimes I make a lot of mistakes. I don't care, because this is not my language. When I'm a bit stressed, probably I'm making a few mistakes here and there, and they don't mind even, right? So all you got to do is you need to be very positive that, okay, this is not my language, right? And still I'm learning it, I'm speaking in it. That's enough. They understand me, I understand them. So this is the communication, asking and answering. So if you can listen to them, if you can answer their questions, if you understand them, that means you know the language. So I know the language, I know how to communicate. That's the only thing. And instead of doing that, if I say, okay, why can't I speak like a native speaker? Why I don't sound like a British speaker? That means you are doing the competition with others, and by doing the competition with others, you are putting down yourself, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do the competition from now on. All you got to do is you need to do the competition with yourself. Just ask yourself, am I getting better than yesterday? Can you please type in the chat box? Am I getting better than yesterday? If your answer is yes, you're on the right track. I'd like to see the question from everyone else. Type in the chat box. Am I getting better than yesterday? Type in the chat box. Am I getting better than yesterday? That's the question you need to ask yourself every single day. Am I getting better than yesterday? If your answer is yes, yes, I'm getting better than yesterday, that means you're on the right track. Don't do the competition with others. All you got to do is you need to competition with yourself. Okay. So just type the question. Am I getting better than yesterday? Okay. Okay. Now, I think we have practiced this structure. Now we're going to apply it, right? So can you remember the slogan of this Speak English in 12 days is learning, right? Practicing and presentation. So learning, practicing, and presentation. So we have learned the structure. We have practiced the structure. Now would like to apply it. So now, how are we going to apply it? I'm going to ask you questions and you need to answer me. The first question I'm going to ask you. So pay attention to the question and answer me accordingly, right? So the first question I'm going to ask you is, do you learn English? Type in the chat box your answer. Do you learn English? I'll try to be tricky here. I'd like to, what is called, I'll try my best to use different sort of questions so that you can pay attention and you can answer it properly. I'd like to see how many of you. So the first question is, do you learn English? I'm eagerly to see your answer. Do you learn English? Okay, answer is yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you, Altaf, for responding. Suli, thank you for responding. Ida Akhtar, thank you for responding. Next question I'm going to ask you. Did you practice English yesterday? Did you practice English yesterday? Okay, MD Ali Shah, thank you for responding. Shibli, thank you for responding. Okay, so the next question is, did you practice English yesterday? Did you practice English yesterday? Quickly answer me. Did you practice English yesterday? Okay, Altaf said yes, I did. Suli said yes, I did. Shafiqul Islam Rani said yes, I do. Okay, I think still you're answering the first question. Tawhid Akhtar said yes, I did. Ali Shaq said yes, I did. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. Next question I'm going to ask you. Will you practice English tomorrow? Will you practice English tomorrow? Will you practice English tomorrow? Answer me quickly. Will you practice English tomorrow? Okay. Okay, thank you for responding. I'm getting a lot of answer. The answer would be yes, I will. Thank you. Thank you. Next question I'm going to ask you. When did you attend the last class? When did you attend the last class? Okay, Altaf said yes, I will. Ronnie said yes, I will. I'm not sure what's your name in Arabic. Shibli said yes, I will. Yeah, that's right. So you are following the questions, right? So if you follow the questions, you'll get the answer. Okay, thank you for responding. Next question is, when did you attend the last class? 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 So next question is, when did you attend the last class? Okay, yeah, Shibli Rabani said yes, I did 2 days ago. Okay, so Shibli, that's not the wrong answer, but the better way to say it, I attended last class 2 days ago. I attended last class yesterday. Okay, excellent, thank you. So when did you attend the last class? So the question is, when did is past form, so you need to answer in past. Okay, Altaf said I did attend the last class at 2 p.m. Okay, excellent. Thank you for responding. So you can also say I attended the last class at 2 p.m. Right? So Altaf, instead of saying I did attend, you can say I attended the last class at 2 p.m. So when did you attend the last class? I attended the last class yesterday. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. So next question I'm going to ask you, when will you join the next class? 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 Okay. When will you join the next class? Okay, Alamgir, don't play shortcut. Give me the full answer. When will you join the next class? Okay, so Shoak said, I will join the next class tomorrow. Excellent answer. I will join the next class at 2 p.m. Excellent answer. I'll join next class tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. I will join the next class on just time. Okay, I will join next class tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. Right, so now we have practiced this asking and answering. So make sure you follow the question. So if you don't follow the question, you will make mistakes, right? So that's why I always recommend you pay attention to the questions and answer accordingly. So now we're gonna practice a topic, right? So you can see the question, ask and answer, right? So so the topic is a holiday you enjoyed the most. Topic is a holiday you enjoy the most. Okay, I'm trying to make it bigger so that I can see it. Okay, a holiday you enjoyed the most. A holiday you enjoyed the most, right? The first question is, where did you go? Type in the chat box. Now we are talking about your holiday, and the topic is a holiday you enjoyed the most. A holiday you enjoyed, right? Enjoyed in the past. So enjoyed the most. The first question is, where did you go? আপনি কোথায় গিয়েছিলেন? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see. For the last holiday, where did you go? Very quickly answer me. Okay, the next question is, when did you go there? When? So second question, I'm expecting a time. When did you go there? When did you go there? Type in the chat box. When did you go there? And the third question is, how did you go there? How? Is it by bus? Is it by train? Is it by plane? So, or did you drive? How did you go there? How did you go there? Right? And then how long did you stay? So if you go somewhere else and stay for temporarily, then we say stay. And if you go there and stay permanently, or probably what is called for month, year, then we say leave, right? So if it is temporarily, then we say stay. If it is not temporarily, we say leave, right? So the question is, a holiday you enjoyed the most. Where did you go? Okay, now I can see a lot of answer. Shibli said, I went to my home. Yeah, that's right. So you can go for holiday, your hometown. So usually I go holiday to Bangladesh, right? So yeah, I went to my hometown. You can say that. I went there just for holidays. Okay. Altaf said, I go there by boat. Okay. So Altaf, this is the question you need to remember. So the question is in the past, right? So instead of saying go, you need to say went. I went there by boat. I went there by train. Excellent answer. Last holiday I went there. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay. Altaf said, I stayed there for 2 days. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Alamgir said, I went by bicycle. I'm not sure if you go holiday by bicycle. Shibli Rabbani said, I went there by bus. Okay, Shibli, you don't need to use to. I went there. I went there by bus. Mushfira Khan said, I went to Pakistan. Okay, excellent. Then Ronnie said, I went to my hometown. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for responding. So next question is, how long did you stay there? Is it for a week? Is it for a day or 2 days? Is it for a month? So how long did you stay there? Type in the chat box. How long did you stay there? Okay, so Nazmul Hussain said, I stayed there for 3 days. Excellent. Excellent answer. I stayed there for 3 days. Okay, thank you. So this is how you need to ask and answer. Okay. Okay, so can you remember in the last few classes I told you how to extend your answer? Because in IELTS exam, if the examiner asks you a question and if you say yes, no, thank you, that means examiner didn't have the opportunity to do the assessment in your English language. So how she's or he's going to assess your English language is you need to speak a little bit more. You need to show them that, yeah, you have got good grasp of English language. So that's why you need to, say a little bit more. What do you say usually? So usually if I ask you, can you please tell me where did you go for your last holiday? You say Nepal, Dubai, right? But in IELTS, you got to say more, at least 2-3 sentences. And the next one is, when did you go there? So you need to extend your answer saying 2-3 sentences. How did you go there? You need to give a lot of options, and then you say, this is how I went there. How long did you stay there? You can say 3 days, 4 days, right? In 2 words. But instead of saying that, you need to say, there was summer holiday. I had 28 days holiday period from my organization, and I was supposed to be there like 3 weeks, but unfortunately I couldn't go there. My mom was sick, and that's why I stayed there for 2 weeks. Did you see? You got to be a storyteller. Can you please type in the chat box, storyteller? So if you'd like to get a better score in IELTS exam, you got to be a storyteller. Type in the chat box. You got to make a stories. That's the thing. In IELTS exam, they will not do the assessment whether you are you're honest, you are telling them truth. Now I'd like to tell you a story. Right. So I have seen one of the interviews, and the person was a professor from Dhaka University, and he worked in different organizations like IMF, United Nations, and all that stuff, right? And all of a sudden, he thought he's going to go for higher studies like PhD, and that's why he needs 7.5 individually, right? Not less than 7.5. And, he's a professor. He studied economics in Dhaka University. He knows English, but first time he sat for IELTS exam, and in speaking test, he got only 7. And second time, he sat for IELTS exam and he got 8.5. Now the interviewer asked him a question. So, what's the one thing that made whole lot of difference, like from 7 to 8.5? And he said something is, in the first exam, I was very honest. I answered them very shortcut. And the second one, I became a storyteller. I told them a lot of things, making a lot of stories, though I was not, feeling good that I'm making a lot of stories. But for the sake of language, for getting a better score in IELTS exam, I got to do this. So all you got to do is, if you'd like to get a better score in IELTS exam, you got to be a storyteller. Quickly type in the chat box, storyteller. A storyteller. You have to be a storyteller. You have to make a lot of stories, right? And so you see the difference. The university professor, he went from 7 to 8.5, is only making the stories. And still I can remember the first attempt, he was asked a question. So do you do internet shopping? And he said, no, I don't. And if the answer is no, I don't, how the examiner will assess the person just getting the answer, no, I don't? Instead of saying, if he made a lot of stories like, yeah, I love to do the shopping on internet because I can get a lot of discounts and I can do the comparison by going there, visiting a lot of shops. Yeah, I love internet shopping because it saves my time, money, and also I can do a lot of comparison. And there are also a lot of websites. I mean, even you don't have to visit all the shops online. If you go to that website, they do the comparison. For example, if you'd like to buy a car, they're going to show you all sort of cars on their shopping website, and just you can see the comparison and you can take the best, whatever fits you. And this is how you can extend your answer, right? So all you need to do is you need to be a storyteller. Okay. Tawhid Akhtar said, I got 6.5 on speaking. Excellent, Tawhid. So if you try this, you're going to get 7.5 probably. So you got to be a storyteller. Now, this is the topic. This is your homework as well. So, however, don't leave the class. We'll practice it. And I'll show you how to get a better score in speaking. So you need to start with something like this. So when you have been given a cue card, and also you have been given a pen and paper or pencil and paper as well, and to write down some sort of hints, clues, so that you can see it and you can speak a lot, right? So once you get the paper and pencil, so you need to ask this question. So where did I go? Where? When? How long? An interesting memory. So if you just note it down, that this sort of hints, clues, then you can speak on and on and on and on. So that's how you need to do. So this is how you need to practice. Okay, so before that, I'd like to give you 1 minute to think about this topic. What you can say, how can you extend it to answer? Then I'll tell my one, then I'll ask you to write down, of course, and next day you're gonna give a presentation about this topic. Yeah, so think for 1 minute. So the topic is a holiday you enjoyed the most. The topic is a holiday you enjoyed the most. Right. Okay, Tawhid Akhtar said, because I was not a storyteller. Yeah, that's right. So be a storyteller, get a better score in IELTS exam. Okay, so this is how I need to start. The topic I would like to share with you is a holiday I enjoyed the most. I have been to different places for my holidays in the last few years, and definitely I'd like to share a lot of things about my holiday. The first one I'd like to say is where I have been to last year. I went to Scotland, and especially in Glasgow, and yeah, this is the beautiful city in Scotland, and I went there last year, I think in June, and I think at the end of the June, because the weather in June look like summer, though it's not proper summer, and that's why I went there just ahead of summer. And you know, if you'd like to go to Scotland, you can go in different ways. For example, you can fly, and if you'd like to fly, however, you got to go to the airport, you need to check in, and it takes a lot of time as well, like 2 hours. And once you go there, probably you need to hire a car to reach the destination. And also you can go by bus as well. That's the cheaper option. I mean, the bus fare would be like £25 or something else. But I always recommend to go by train, because if you take that train journey, it doesn't shake a lot. If you'd like to read some books and would like to see the view outside scenery, you can do that as well. But it's a bit expensive. It cost me like £90 each. So I went there by train, and I really enjoyed the journey, because the train went through different hills, lakes, and all that stuff. I loved looking outside and enjoyed the journey. So that was the summer holiday, and I used to stay there for 4 weeks. However, I had something very much emergency there, so I had to come a bit early, and I requested my holiday resort to reduce the holidays so that I can come a bit early. And yeah, I stayed there for 3 weeks, though I was supposed to be there for 4 weeks. And I had a lot of interesting memory with this holiday, particularly in Scotland, because we have scheduled a lot of trips here and there. For example, Edinburgh, Inverness, and other different places like William Ford as well. So the places I enjoyed the most is Inverness, because it looks like heaven in the present world. So I went there with my family members as well. It took like 1.5 hours driving from Glasgow, and it was some sort of what is called adventure as well, because the road was so narrow, and on the right side you can see the hills, and on the left hand side you can see the lakes. It's kind of scary as well. I mean, if you skid your car, probably you're going to end up with death. So the interesting memory I'd like to share with you is, we went by car from Glasgow to Inverness, and we went through a very, very, I would say, countryside road, and you can find a lot of villages over there, or some sort of people. I mean, if you are in trouble or in problem, they can help you. So we used to go there. I think we went there during the lunch time, and that time the road was empty, and all of a sudden what we found is there was some sort of problem with our car. We stopped the car roadside, and we waited for a longer period of time to get some sort of help. We called insurance as well, but the battery was damaged, and we waited there for 3-4 hours, and all of a sudden we saw there was a car coming. We waved and they stopped, and they said, okay, you need some sort of what is called jumper to charge your battery, and then you can drive on. And the gentleman said, okay, I'm living here, I mean 4 or 5 kilometers away from there. I don't have a jumper, Kickstarter jumper with us right now. So I'll go there at home and I'll come back with a jumper, and then I can help. And this is how we got help from that gentleman, and we appreciated his help. And that's the terrible or interesting memory, whatever say, with that particular holiday. Thanks for listening to me. This is how we need to make a story, and you need to, by the way, this is the real story. I mean, for our holiday, we went to Scotland. But if you don't have that kind of thing, then you can make the story and you can just keep going on, keep on and on. And this is how we need to get a better score in our speaking test. So now, how many of you would be able to give a presentation and you need to speak at least 3 minutes on this topic? Type in the chat box 3 minutes. I'd love to see how many of you would like to talk on this topic for at least 3 minutes. So all you need to do is you need to ask these questions. You need to try to extend your answer. And once you got all the answer, don't ask an answer then. For the presentation, don't ask an answer. Give a long presentation. Hi, my name is Habib. Today I'd like to share with you a topic, and the topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. First of all, moreover, furthermore, right? So this is how I need to practice. So now I can see a lot of comments. Alamgir Hussain said, inshallah, I will be a good storyteller. Okay, thank you. Thanks for responding. Altaf Hussain said 3 minutes. Okay, that means you will be able to talk about this topic for 3 minutes. Excellent. Pitisha said 3 minutes. Anarmia said 3 minutes. Shibli said 3 minutes. Okay, excellent. Thank you for responding. So now we're going to go a bit further. So just I'd like to edit this. It's not 2 minutes, it's 3 minutes. Right. So yeah, just think about this. If you practice like this way, a presentation for 3 minutes, right? And if you just do a presentation like 50 topics, what do you think? Will you struggle for your speaking test? Of course not. So that's why every single day you need to practice it, and you need to give a presentation. And you need to ask yourself, am I getting better than yesterday? If your answer is yes, that means you are progressing, right? So, some students, when I say they give a post in different group that I got 7.5 in 3 months, 8.5 in 1 month, I would say, congratulations, right? So that means this kind of students, they know English. They don't need to know English. They already know in English, right? So probably they are from English medium or medical background, and their English basic is very strong. They know how to utilize, a structure here and there. And they also know how to write, because they have been writing in English for their whole bachelor degree and master's degree. They know how to write, right? So once they sit for IELTS exam, before that, just they'd like to get some sort of hints and tips, how to get a better score, how to take preparation, and so that they can go for the exam approach, right? That's the thing they do. But most of our students, they don't have very basic, strong basic in English, and that's why they struggle a lot. They need to learn English, at the same time they need to learn tips and tricks. But my understanding is, if you don't have the very basic, you will take a longer period of time to get a better score. So the first thing you got to do is you need to develop your basic in English. And through this course, I'm trying my best to give you the basic so that you can understand each and everything. And after that, once you keep practicing, and if you practice with Cambridge series, and you will get better day by day. Right. So Alamgir said, kindly send me the Facebook group name. So the Facebook group name is UK Study Visa. However, I'm going to give you the link on the comment box so that you can see it. Right. So this is how you need to do it. So now, again, I'm going to go the reference what I told you earlier, that don't do the competition with others. If you see, I mean, there are a lot of classmates or students, they are doing better, right? Say congratulations, say something positive about them. Don't be jealous, and ask yourself, am I getting better day by day? Am I getting better than yesterday? This is how you got to find the better version of yourself. So this is the topic. You need to give a presentation, and this is the homework. So yeah, so once you practice 10 times in front of the mirror, record it, post on the group, and the group name is UK Study Visa. UK Study Visa. So can you please type in the chat box, how did you find this today's class? Is it okay, excellent, outstanding? Type in the chat box. And what I'm gonna do, I'll request my team to send you the feedback form. So in the feedback form, there will be a lot of questions. So how is the class? Where do you think you need to add something? Where do you think we need to cut off something? How should our class? So we want to have your genuine feedback. I'll request my team to send you a form so that you can write down a lot of things and you can give us feedback. And after getting the feedback, we'll try to fit in and would like to develop day by day. And the same question I'm asking myself, am I getting better than yesterday? Am I getting better than previous batch? Am I getting better than the previous session recruiting students? So that's the same question I'm asking myself. So you got to ask the same question to yourself as well. So yeah, so Anwarullah said the class was excellent. Rabbani said excellent. Okay, thank you for responding. So if you have got any questions, please type in the chat box. I'll answer it. Otherwise, you're going to wrap it up here, and we will see you in the next class. What's going to happen in the next class is, most of the students, they struggle a lot with preposition, and that's the first thing. And second thing is they make a lot of mistakes regarding the pronunciation. They don't sound like they're speaking in English. That's why next class we're gonna focus a little bit more about preposition and pronunciation. So don't miss the class. Don't miss the class. Next class would be about pronunciation and preposition. So once you finish that class, you will feel comfortable to use preposition here and there, and you will see you are changing a little bit regarding your what is called pronunciation. Once you just fixed a few things, probably 2-3 things, you will see, wow. So now I can pronounce the word right away. So that's the thing. And next thing I'd like to share with you, next set of classes will be very, very powerful, because I always ask my students, so where do you struggle to learn English, to write in writing and speaking? And they always say, we don't know how to make a structure. Okay, so these are the class you have got. Now you know how to make a structure. And the next question they ask me, so how are we gonna get the variation of structure, variation of sentences, right? And next few classes we're gonna teach you how to produce variation of sentences, different structure. And that's why we focus on transformation of sentence. For example, the same word you can express in different ways. For example, you can use simple sentence, you can use complex, you can use compound, right? So if you use simple, complex, and compound in your speaking and writing, the examiner will say, wow, the student knows the different sort of structure, variation of sentences, and he deserves or she deserves a good score in IELTS exam, right? And the next thing is also voice. So especially in IELTS writing, we see that so in IELTS writing, especially task 1, we need to use a lot of passive voice, right? And that's why we have got a class specifically on passive, so that after that you understand how to use passive voice in your writing and speaking. And also you have got a class is what is called, it's all about comparison. For example, instead of saying the same thing, and especially in task 1 and especially in task 1, you need to do a lot of comparison, because bar chart, pie chart, and all that stuff. So if you know how to do the comparison and all that stuff, so you get a better score as well. And that's why you have got a class regarding the comparison. So in that class, we learn how to do the comparison from different things. And also the same class, so you practice a lot, and at the end of the class, you understand and you know how to apply and say a lot of things showing the comparison. And also we will have a writing class, especially for task 2. How to start writing task 2 is from generating the ideas to organize the ideas and present on the paper. And this class will be phenomenal, and I would definitely recommend you, please don't miss those classes. And especially if you come to the live, I know you can watch the recorded classes as well, but if you come on the live class, you have got opportunity to ask question. If you don't understand, then you can ask me the question. So Suli said, how am I go to UK, sir? Okay, so Suli, the question you asked me, I do understand what you mean. It should be, how will I go to UK? How will I go to UK, right? That's the thing. Okay, so we have got a recorded seminar. It's class number 5. And in the playlist on YouTube, you will get all the lessons recorded. It's like speaking English in 12 days is class number 1, class 2nd class, 3rd class, 4th class, 5th class, 6th class. This is how you're gonna get all the classes. So if you check class number 5th, you will get a lecture around 60 minutes, and the whole class is all about 2 hours. So if you watch the whole video, you will know the ins and outs of getting the study visa. And I would recommend you watch this that class, right? So thank you for joining today's class. Make sure you practice and you give the presentation inside the Facebook group, and I'll see you in the next class. And until then, stay well, keep healthy, keep fit,